Welcome to Cantina Vizsla. For the safety of the bartenders and any other patrons, remember to keep all arms, legs, tentacles, or any other extremities you may have to yourself at all times. So come right in, grab a drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Coming to you from the Panic Room in the crap part of the cantina, I'm Sparrow, and with me, as always, is a man who some say was the real inspiration for the new Gear 13 color scheme. All I know is I call him Stan.
It's that red hot rage at those homeless shopping carts.
That's right. They were like, Gear 13, what is this going to incite? And they saw a picture of Stan, and they're like, fire. That's exactly what it means.
White hot, unadulterated rage.
Oh, man. We had one hell of a week in the game and everything. When we went through, when was it? The last Road Ahead post in which we saw CG Carey went through and mentioned, oh, we want to go through and start giving out little bits of information a few times a week rather than just this big mass of information all at once. We're like, yeah, that'd be nice, but we don't see that happening. And it is starting to happen now.
Yeah, they opened the floodgates and just soaked the plains with information nutrients.
It soaked Stan's carpet as bad as cats. Going to the bathroom.
Get started on that.
But yeah, before we get into that, I mean, we had one hell of a week, but how was your week outside of the game?
Oh, it has been crazy. So a lot less cat piss this week. So that's the good news.
That is great. Great news.
It was replaced with cat puke this week.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, we've got one. He's got some food allergies, and every once he's got to eat this special reprocessed meat slime, or he just gets real sick and throws up. And he was throwing up for like 2 days straight, just everywhere. So we got to the point where we're having to spoon feed him Pedialyte and baby food, but he's better now and back with a vengeance, just wanting to eat everything. So I think we're over the hump with that. I'm also fighting nature in another way. You do a lot with, woodworking and all that.
Yes.
Do you have issues with bees ever?
Outside bees, yeah.
Yeah.
There are times, yeah.
Just out of nowhere, just a million bees decided to live in my shed. And I was like, well, that's not good. Because it's right on the property line. My neighbors have a garden within probably 10 feet of it. And they got little dogs. And there's kids in the neighborhood. And I've seen my girl enough to know that bees will knock your glasses off your face and murder you. So we can't have that. So I looked it up. And, I like nature. I don't want to just murder the bees. I tried to find ways to persuade them to go somewhere else. I asked nicely. And I sprayed some citrus stuff around, and they just weren't having it.
So you didn't do the Galaxy of Heroes way.
What's that?
Throw a credit card at them. You make a phone call, and then all of a sudden they're gone. You throw enough money at it, and they'll be gone.
I threw a lot of money to like Home Depot and Walmart for bug spray, and so I got hornet spray first. And so I probably went through 5 cans of that, and I'd blast them, and a lot of them would die, and they'd slow down. The next day, they're back, still buzzing around. So I finally got some carpenter bee spray, and I'm gonna go out there after the show, after they've gone to sleep and they're snoozing in a little nest, and I'm just gonna have to chemically murder them.
Yeah, get the carpenter bee spray out and get the hose out to get their hive out of there, and hope for the best after that.
I don't know if I'm gonna do all that, or I may just try to tape the hole up or seal it up. I'm mostly concerned with if they have ghosts and they haunt me. Would that be a boo bee?
Oh.
Sorry, I'll be here all night.
That was bad.
Yeah, that was awful. It was awful.
Oh man, there's got to be other things than bee stories. Come on, Sam.
Well, yeah, we've got a E3 going on. This the gaming convention, so we're getting all kinds of news. We'll talk a little bit about that in our Star Wars news segment. Some other stuff I'm really excited about. They got some. My other game I play is Destiny. They released a lot of information on that. They're gonna have cross saves, so I can transfer to the PC or PS4. The first year worth of content is gonna be free to play. So if you want to try it out and play with us, you got nothing to lose. They revealed a lot more of Cyberpunk 2077, another game I've been following a lot of, and it's going to have Keanu Reeves in it. So that's pretty cool, too.
Oh, anything with Keanu Reeves, right?
Oh, yeah. This is the year of Keanu, I think. So that's pretty good. Watching a little bit of TV. Did finished up Good Girls Season 2. We binged the crap out of that this weekend. Not quite Breaking Bad level. It's got some hints of it. I'm enjoying it. Looking forward to seeing where that goes. And I was really looking forward to Black Mirror open up Netflix, and it's 3 episodes. That's not a season. What are you doing?
What, they didn't make them like an hour and a half like Game of Thrones, though? At least?
No, they were maybe a little over an hour. Still.
Yeah. Not quite there, then.
No.
Well, you missed one thing about E3. They did go through and have been hinting and going more and more in depth on the new Xbox, Project Scarlet.
Sign me up. I've already got my Ultimate subscription going, so I can get my Xbox Live, my Game Pass. Just ready to rock. Take all my money, Microsoft.
Yeah, I have to look more into that. I'm so expecting, and I still don't understand why both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One to begin with have a CD drive when DVDs and everything don't hold as much information. Give me an SD card a little slot to slide it in.
It just costs more to manufacture. That's probably the main reason.
Man, well, there's no information on the CD drive anyways.
Yeah.
You plug it in and then it asks you for a full download of the game. And you're like, I bought a CD key. Awesome.
Right.
A right to download.
Yeah, I am glad they are switching to SSDs. Load times are going to be a lot faster. The only downside is with the whole digital thing is a lot of people still live out in the sticks and they don't have fast internet.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting transition.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, what about you? What have you been up to?
Oh, I went through and had this bright idea of looking out at my deck. I was like, it's starting to get nice. Sitting on my deck, I was like, man, I really need to go through, and the deck boards are they're getting worn. They're starting to get real bad. I need to replace them. So I'm like, all right, I can tear these up, replace them. And then I start looking at them like, I can reuse parts of these. No, it'd be real nice if my deck was out another 6 feet. So that turned into a deck demolishing of the deck boards, expanding it out 6 feet. And I've been working on that for all weekend and last week, and probably going to be working on it this weekend also. So it's coming along. But, I go through and think, this small little project, this will be fine. And then it kind of blows up in my face. And I'm like, all right, well, I don't know how we got here, but we're here and we're going to make the best of it. And it's going to be nice in the end.
Yeah, it always feels good to finish something like that. I wish I was more handy than I am, but I'm happy just doing shoddy paint jobs in my office and hanging up some lightsabers. And I'll call it a day.
I need to finish a lot of those projects. I have shelving and everything built and not stained, and actually finish and things on the shelf because I have everything done but the final little touches. But other than that, I've been getting done with that. Gets dark out. Have you watched 3% on Netflix?
No, I haven't. What's that about?
It is kind of like a post-apocalyptic overpopulation scenario in which kind of, I guess best way to describe it would be Atlas Shrugged, in which they're seeing the overpopulation happening, so the top 3% of the world that has the money and kind of the smarts actually creates a process to select the top 3% of, I think they have to be 20 when they enter, and they basically hold like a process and eliminate everybody except the top 3% every year to be held in like this special part in society that has the best of everything.
Okay, so it's like a documentary then. It's not too far off from the current state of things.
Oh man, as they've been going through since Atlas Shrugged and Ayn Rand writing that,
Yeah,
they've been
yeah.
talking about that happening for a long time. Yes, it's definitely getting closer and closer to that point.
Well, you've been following SpaceX. When can we leave this rock?
Hopefully soon, but I mean they're getting there. They're building their Starship in California and Florida now, so that's pretty exciting. I can't wait to see that shiny metal rocket.
Yeah, they're like,
go up into that
Galaxy's Edge, hold my beer.
Yes. But their next launch is actually out in California. It's actually June 12th. And anytime I can go through, I enjoy even watching their broadcasts and everything. Going through, seeing a rocket land is absolutely amazing, especially when you realize how big they are. You're going through, essentially watching a 13-story building landing upright after it's going, close to 10,000 miles per hour. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I guess while we're talking about space stuff, there's been a lot of articles going around about Jupiter. It is pretty close to Earth, so you've seen all these articles about you can see Jupiter's moons in a decent pair of binoculars. Pro tip: you can almost always see Jupiter's moons in a pair of binoculars. But again, they're sensationalized articles, but anything to kind of get the public interested in science, interested in space and astronomy. Hey, whatever it takes.
Yeah, I think it's more of an excuse of Jupiter being that close to get people to actually go out there and try it themselves.
Yeah, I really need to get some images going.
That's right. You need to go through and get those new satellites.
Yeah, definitely get those. Well, other new things we got a new patron.
All right.
Yeah, Mil Muertes. Thank you so much for your supports. To all our patrons, we are running a raffle for the Mandalorian poster that they handed out at Star Wars Celebration. So if you would like to get in the drawing for that, all you have to do is get on our Discord and go to the patron not panic room and tell us all about your favorite Mandalorian. Who is it? Why is it? Post a picture if you want. And after the end of the month, so July 1st, I will take all the eligible entries, put them in a hat, and draw the winner. And you'll get a nice poster.
Mandalorians with a Darksaber. Always welcome.
They're pretty cool.
Just saying. So, as much as I would like a Darksaber, and hits the pinnacle of Mandalorians right there, what'd you get done in the game?
A big old bunch of nothing.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I'm just hoarding gear. Just waiting for the Geonosian territory battle details to drop and see who I need to level up.
You're in a pretty good place having the Geos and your General Grievous squad already geared up, so I think you're in a pretty safe bet unless you want to go after Newt Gunray right now.
Well, I need to see what the new kits are, and we'll talk a little bit later about them. There's some rumblings on the horizon. There might be some fillers in. I don't want to get caught like I did before, where leveled up a character and then another one just immediately replaced it. So I'm gonna try to bide my time a little bit.
Yeah. So especially, I will get into that because you said you didn't listen to the complete interview with CG Carey, and she did kind of talk about that.
Okay, well, cool. Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, what did you get done?
I got done Embo. Embo is now 7 stars.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Finally the character I wanted to get done, I got done. I need to find time in the game here to actually gear up Embo and Django here shortly. But getting there. We're getting there. One step closer. But that's it. I mean, it's one of those things, like I hit you hit that gear wall in which it's asking for working on droid cut and everything. It's like, oh, there's 2 stun guns here. There's a stun gun there. There's 2 more over here. And B2 is kind of the same way. Just working on those General Grievous droids and lots of stun guns. Just lots and lots of stun guns. There's no easy way to transition from there, but let's get into the Star Wars news before we get into the game news.
Yeah, we mentioned there was an E3, a big reveal that went on was the Jedi Fallen Order gameplay reveal. Did you watch that?
I was just watching it before we started recording. I did watch all the gameplay. It was like 13 minutes worth of gameplay. It looks like basically the opening level of the game.
Yeah, I don't know if it's opening or maybe a couple in. What did you think?
I want to hear what you went through and have a note in here. I'm kind of curious on what that's about.
Yeah, I'm having a conundrum. The gameplay looks cool. It's a Respawn game. They make Titanfall. Those games play well. Just looking at it, that is a video game-ass video game. You've got swinging, you've got slow motion, you've got wall running, you've got double jumps. Just all the kind of generic things you expect in the video game is there. So I'm kind of concerned that this is going to feel like every other game. And my other concern is how this is going to tie into the lore. I mean, this is a canon game. It's meant to be after Revenge of the Sith. The Purge has happened. They're continuing to hunt down the Jedi. And this is one of the remaining Padawans that is still trying to escape or whatever. So my issue is, one, like, in the world at that time, you have basically Obi-Wan, Yoda, Ahsoka, and Kanan are your surviving Jedi. And Kanan and Ahsoka, they won't even use the Force for anything. Just, emergencies only. Because as soon as they use it, it's like a beacon goes off and, the Inquisitors come and it's just... This jabroni is doubling up and he's like just throwing his lightsaber around. He's suplexing an entire Empire outpost in front of everybody. He just don't care about being stealthy or trying to hide the fact he's a Jedi. The flip side of that is if you're just a dude walking around not being able to use the Force, that's a boring ass Jedi game.
Yeah, very true. I kind of see where you're coming from a little bit, but I took that level that they did show as being a first level, and it's pretty much Respawn games. Anytime you go through and start, and especially when you have a level up system for force powers and weapon systems and everything, when you first start the game, you have that one kind of like god tier level before you go through and you start losing powers. You get to start gaining everything back. I think they basically showed that.
Yeah.
So that's basically like the end before like all the characters or all the stormtroopers get a lot harder. You aren't fighting the harder bosses. The skill tree could differ greatly based on what abilities you actually use rather than having all of them all at once is more in the impression I got with that. So I'm not really concerned about the gameplay. That you kind of have to go there to make a good, compelling game. And then the lore conundrum, them using the Force, I really don't see the issue either because you're in the middle of getting attacked by the Empire. You're surrounded by the Empire. You're going to do something, and then you're going to book it out there and not use the Force.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they explain it story-wise.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more story-wise explaining that, but so I'm not really seeing the huge issue about that.
Now, one thing was kind of cool was Saw Gerrera is in it.
Yes.
Really wasn't expecting to see him, but he showed up, so that was kind of cool. They released some of the key art for the game, so you get him, you got some kind of weird hamster bird Alien, which I want to know what that's about. That thing is funky looking.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, overall, it looks good. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, day one. I'm going to get it. I am excited for it, but I'm trying to keep my expectations in check. I think this is going to be a fun game, kind of shallow. You're going to get some cameos from, kind of key players here and there. But at the end of the day, it's not going to impact lore greatly.
No, I don't.
So.
I don't think it will at all. Other than maybe go through, tie in a little bit more backstory for like Saw Gerrera and something like that in actually canon.
Yeah. Well, in other video game news, Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga was announced, and is I guess kind of a remaster and compilation of all the Lego Star Wars games. So if you're into that, well, there you go.
Yeah. Okay.
They're
Lego
fun.
Lego Star Wars games. They're fun. They're very consistent.
Yeah, not quite my thing, but again, if you got kids and like playing with them, it's good for that. I am excited for tomorrow though. Alphabet Squadron is coming out, so I am looking forward to giving that a listen.
Oh, okay. So new book.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is going to be kind of pre-Force Awakens, Harrison Dula and a batch of pilots hunting down Empire remnants.
Okay.
So should be pretty cool.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So speaking of tomorrow, what's in the events coming up this week?
All right, we're recording on the 10th, and we're right in the middle of contact protocols. So get your duders ready, get C-3PO. Going into a territory battle. Yay. Rebel Assault. Thursday the 13th, you can get Darth Revan. Scourge of the Old Republic is coming back.
Ooh, early. Very early, it seems like.
And the calendar looks a little light in the next few days. Maybe a marquee.
What? The Geo Brood?
I don't know. We'll talk about him. I'm not quite sure how they're going to release him. I don't think it'll be a marquee.
Hard node.
If it goes just straight to hard node, possibly.
Just throwing it out there. Hard node it is.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Nothing too exciting.
All right.
Still no confirmed Grand Arena Championships or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that's coming though. We'll get into that a little bit more with that interview. Did hint at when that might be coming down the road. But first, you mentioned Darth Revan finally returned. Not even finally returned. What am I saying? Very quickly returned, it seemed like.
Yeah.
And you're going through and saying, what, signaling a possible counter with this GOTV?
Yeah,
you think this meta's going to shift here?
I think it's possible. It seems like usually once a key character, a meta-defining character comes back the second time, they give the community a little bit of time to play with their new shiny toy before the next big thing comes out.
All right, now I'm going to counter this by asking, is Revan really the meta, or is it Malik?
I mean, it's both.
Yeah, it's partly, but if you have a Darth Revan team without Malik, are you really at the top of the leaderboards?
Yeah, true.
So I'm thinking more that the counter really is Malik, and with that, we shouldn't be thinking... I understand where you're coming from, but I think it's really waiting for the second time Malik comes back is when we're actually going to be expecting that arena meta shift. That could get shifted up a little bit with the Geo Territory battle map, only because of Gear 13. That could throw a wrench into the situation, like we talked about last week with the way mods are going to impact once you actually finish out that Gear 12 level.
Yeah, we were just speculating on that, and then they kind of got a lot of details out on that. So it's
Yeah.
You want us to go into it?
Yeah, we can go right into the Gear 13, which CG Carey did specifically go through and say mods are going to make a huge difference as soon as you're able to roll a character over to Gear 13. And she specifically mentioned how mods go through and only do the percent basis off of a completed gear level. So all that sweet stats that you get at Gear 12 do not roll into how they calculate based on your mods. So she said it will make a big difference when it comes to this. They also introduced a sweet new border for Gear 13. They did release the artwork for this.
Yeah, got a little yellow to red gradient going on there, kind of a flame type color.
Now, she did mention how this came to be, and that the art team kept giving her designs, and she just wasn't happy with it. And she said, and they asked her for some direction to go with. And she said, I need something a little bit hotter. So they literally came back with a flame gradient. And that's how it came to be, which I laugh about. And I think I'm in the minority here. I don't like it.
It looks a little gaudy. I mean, I'll get used to it, but
I think it's gaudy because nothing else in the game has a color gradient like that. If it was red, I'd be happy. I would prefer it being like even switching to like the metallic borders, kind of like the Kyber color, a chromium color, a rhodium color, something, or even red that actually had more like a ruby color, like a ruby red that's actually like shiny. I would have been fine with it. I just not a big fan of that color gradient.
yeah, we'll probably get there with Gear 14 and Gear 15.
Yeah. Why not?
You gotta save something.
Yeah. We are getting, 3 pieces for the different recipes to take those final Gear 12 that final Gear 12 slot and take characters to Gear 13.
Yeah, we're getting injector heads, injector handles, and injector cells. These salvages for these pieces will be attainable through Geo Territory Battle Rewards and the new currency. And probably via ship PvE nodes. So that's pretty neat there. They also mentioned a lot of characters are getting a protection update, because you did mention how when you roll over, it's going to adjust the stats, and some of the characters weren't really keeping up, so they had to make some adjustments, and it's a lot of them. So I'm not going to go through all of them here.
Yeah, it's 80-some characters. The majority of them are basically first game release characters, and within like the first year,
right,
are all the characters or I shouldn't even say that, up through Phoenix Squadron. All the characters that came out before Phoenix are basically getting a touch, there's a few exceptions. Just to kind of give people a rough idea of where that cutoff is.
Yeah, I think some of the characters would just be way too overpowered. They touched them up all the way, so yeah, I don't think it's going to make that big a difference. I think meta teams will still stay meta teams. There'll be a few characters that'll get a nice little bump, but I don't think it's going to be super groundbreaking.
Well, not right away. Not right away. So overall, very good. Like the concept behind Gear 13, they're once again addressing what we talked about, going back through and kind of giving these older characters a little bit of a bump to make them a little bit more relevant or usable, at least in PvE content. When it comes to, we also had Grand Arena Championships and feats detailed.
Yeah, that's they mentioned. That's another thing with Darth Revan coming back. I think they did bring it back early to even the playing field for Grand Arena Championship.
And then I think that I will agree with that, and it would make it teams a lot more competitive, even if you don't have Darth Revan. And being that differentiating character is Malik. You can still
Right.
beat Darth Revan with Malik, but without Darth Revan, to be able to do that is very, very difficult.
Yeah, but it's definitely going to help with matchmaking. It won't be quite so much of a have and have nots. You really want the first run of this to go smoothly and be fun for everybody. Because if it's not, it's going to be a huge hurdle to try to win people back. First impressions and all that.
Yeah.
Uh,
The most I saw with this going through when they were talking about Grand Arena Championships in the interview was going through, and they mentioned that basically it was going to be in the new title update because they were going through talking about, are there any other quality of life updates? What else is in the title update? And she responded, basically it was the title updates, really Grand Arena Championships and the new GOTB. It sounds like we're going to get both of them this month when that title update hits. I don't know whether the new TB is going to be
yeah, I would think so.
immediately right when it hits, or if it's going to be, say, the beginning of next month is going to be like the first one. But either way, we're definitely getting Grand Arena Championships and GOTB in this next title update, and I would expect that here by the end of the month.
Yeah, it's coming pretty soon. We got some prep work to do, which I think we'll probably get into next week a little more detailed.
Yeah.
But yeah, Grand Arena Championship. You mentioned feats. They're like little mini achievements, kind of short term, almost like daily challenges. Which it was a thing I mentioned. Man, one of our first episodes as things I would like to see in the game. Just little fun things to do. It looks like they're adding them. You'll get a few little extra banners and currency for completing them. But there is some risk and reward there. Just kind of going over the ones that they demonstrated or had a demo on. Know thy enemy. Win 5 Grand Arena battles with an undersized squad. So you got to risk those Grand Arena points, which give you a lot more banners for a handful on these feats. Another one was win a fleet arena battle using the endurance. Okay, good luck with that if you're in the top 25 or so. Galactic Dissonant, defeat 5 enemy units in a squad or fleet arena with a separatist unit. That's fairly doable. And Arbitration, defeat 5 enemy units in a squad or fleet arena with a Galactic Republic unit.
Okay.
And all these had 20-hour countdowns on the demo picture they got. So kind of fun little things to do and try to help shake things up. I would imagine at the just tip-top end of the leaderboard, you'll have to do these to, stay competitive. But I think for the vast majority of the player base, you can probably ignore these if you don't want to do them.
Yeah. It's going to be a differentiating stepping stone on the leaderboard. How many feats were you actually able to complete is going to be the big thing.
Yeah, it'd be fun, and I would like to see these done in other areas of the game too, like Galactic War or Arena, or just anything else. Not necessarily for these types of currencies, but just it's something to do.
Hey, doing them in, well, never mind. I doubt we're going to have a regular Grand Arena for points and everything. I was like, that could be a cool little way to get some extra, like a couple points or anything within a Grand Arena. But we're doing Grand Arena Championships. I doubt this upper end is actually going to do anything but that anymore.
Yeah, I guess I'm not seeing why we would have just a normal Grand Arena. They all go into the Grand Arena Championship leaderboard.
Yeah, I don't think we will anymore. Yeah, I think straight Grand Arena is pretty much gone, and everything's going to be Grand Arena Championships.
The next will be Super Grand Arena Championship Turbo Edition.
That's right.
Hyper Riding. Hey, that's cool. So we got a little bit of information there.
turbo supercharged,
That's it.
Kyber.
What else did we learn about?
Did learn, we got some more details on the GOTB. We went through and actually got a restriction for GOTB, how long it's going to be, how many stars, and a selection.
Yeah, we kind of thought this may happen. Not necessarily between these two, but it's kind of weird. So first off, 80 million GPs where you have to be to attempt the Geonosian territory battle, which here in my ivory tower in our alliance guild, 80 seems kind of low. But, I know there are a lot of guilds, more casual guilds kind of building up to that. So that was a little bit of controversy. There's a lot of clickbait with that too. Like you could be banned from territory battle, which is
the 80 million GP does not bother me because they did go over an explanation saying the territory battle is tuned for rosters that are above. I think they figured out how to be like a 1.5 million GP is essentially what the guild had to average out to. So anything above that, it's more of what the territory battle map is tuned towards, and they don't want guilds going in there with less than that because then they doubt they would be able to get any stars at all and advance at all within that territory battle and just sit in one spot, not be able to get any rewards at all because they overcommitted themselves and weren't able to complete anything within that map.
Yeah, and that's not fun. I mean, we go back to when Hoth Darkside came out and we were just getting slaughtered.
Yeah. Second phase.
Not fun times.
Second phase. You go through, open it up, hit that second wave, and get wiped out.
Yeah, so they mentioned this is only going to be 4 days. So 4 days, 33 stars, and you have to choose between doing Hoth or the Geonosian map.
The new map.
So choose between Hoth Darkside or the Geo map.
We'll have to see the rewards for it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, some of the issues that people were bringing up was obviously getting the table characters on the Hoth map. If you're still working on Probe Droid and your guild has moved on to Geonosian map, you're kind of out of luck on that. Maybe there needs to be an option to put those old characters in the new store with the new currency so you can kind of kill two birds with one stone.
I don't even look at that. I'm looking at more. So when you're going through that, I'll have to look at the rewards just because for our guild, I know we're at the upper end of this, but it still does apply to guilds working towards this. We can get 48 stars in Hoth Darkside territory battle maps. Is it going to be worth our time going into the Geonosian territory battle map? Are we going to get that currency that we can go... Well, yeah, but like for me, I'm still trying to star up Malik. Am I going to get that currency to star up Malik? Am I going to get as much or more? Or am I going to get less? Crystals, am I going to get more or less? You know what I'm saying? Like if we go through, put all this effort and say I get less guild event token currency in this new Geo map because it has a different currency, correct?
You still get the old currency as well, but you're going to get both.
But say go through and say we only get, let's say, 15 stars the first go around in the GOTV, and I get half the currency I would than I would if we did Hoth. Then it pushes me getting Malik to 7 stars way back.
Yeah, but also the new stuff, those Gear 13 pieces are in with the geocurrency.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a balancing app. I'll have to see the reward. Same way with stars. Or not stars, crystals. It's a fine balancing act. I could see why people would be hesitant. And I'm sure there's going to be a point in which there's a cost benefit in which it you want to switch over to the Geonosian battle. I don't think we'll run into that problem, but newer guilds coming up, say when they start hitting, I mean, they could be 150 million GP guild, and say they're only hitting 38, 40 stars for Darkside TB. Is it worth going up to the Geo one, or is it better to stay in Hoth?
Me personally, I think no matter what the split is, I think it's always best to do the highest level activity you can do and get the most premium currency.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, we'll have to see what the rewards are, because I could see where that could become an issue if it's not tuned adequately enough.
I do kind of think that, and I saw this suggested somewhere, maybe on Reddit. Let us run both the first time. Just shits and giggles. Let people try the Geonosian map and see where they're at, whether they're 80 million or not. If they just get slaughtered, let them get slaughtered. But at least they still got Hoth going on, so they're not going to miss out on any rewards. And then kind of judge where they need to put the resources going forward.
I don't even think they need to do that. Like I said, it's a little bit too early to tell with this. We're just speculating really a lot on where the rewards are going to be. What they did say about this is there are platoons in the Geo territory battles. They are going to be random.
Oh, interesting.
They have talked about going through and releasing what the characters are going to be within those platoons and have it fixed for everybody and announcing them like the day before a territory battle map starts.
So it would be random each week, but they would announce it?
Correct.
Okay. Oh, man.
She was going through and saying, there wasn't a better way to come up with a selection to make it fair and everything. And I was like, obviously she hasn't listened to Cantina because we gave him an answer. You can space it out in those 3 zones with 3 different bonuses, each one tiered towards a more pay-to-play friendly aspect as you moved up, but still rewarded at least free-to-play players and guilds a little bit as they advanced.
Yeah, the biggest issue we're going to have at the beginning of this is just like we have with Darkside Hoth, the teams aren't that broad yet to make replacements in platoons.
They're pretty close.
They're getting there, but we still need a few more characters to really.
They're a hell of a lot better than they were for Darkside territory battles. When you had special missions and combat missions requiring a certain faction, and they could also be required in platoons.
Yeah, I hope they figured that one out.
Yeah, well, they're doing random, and I'm sure they can go through and edit them since they're pulling everything beforehand, before it starts. Another thing they did mention in here was the Acklay is you battling in the special mission.
Yeah, and if you don't know what that is one of the beasts in the Geonosian arena.
The praying mantis one.
Yeah, little praying mantis toothy beast.
So I came close. I came close with my prediction. I said they would be in here, but I was hoping for the saber-tooth tiger one.
Hey, maybe there's still time. Maybe we get both of them.
Oh, they could both be in there. Yeah, it could be like a different phase. You might have to fight those saber-tooth tiger beasts before you get to the Acklay.
That would be pretty cool. So it's going to be a special mission. Do you think that this character could come to the game as playable?
The Acklay, no.
I don't think so either. People have kind of speculated about it. I don't see it.
My saber-tooth
tiger,
it happen?
I hope
so. Give me my saber-tooth tiger.
Yes, yeah. So what? Let's see. We got so much information. We learned about 2 new characters coming out for the Geonosian territory battle map. We got Techno Dude himself, Wat Tambor.
And if you haven't seen that meme that was on Reddit, please go through about the techno drop of Wat Tambor.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But oh man, just looking at it again, the first thing I noticed was just how bad the CG is in that movie for those characters.
Yeah,
They look rough. He's got a tooth for a head. He's like a steampunk green tooth.
You know, you got to do something with your new computer.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's cool. I figured we would be getting some sort of character like this. I thought it would be the commando or the commander droid. But hey, Watt's cool too. He's a little more recognizable. He is going to drop from the map himself. Haven't revealed his full kit yet, but he's going to buff Separatists and Dark Side droids. He is a just straight support character, similar to Hermit Yoda and C-3PO, and he's going to heal protection. So that might be good for Grand Arena to get those last points in.
Yes. They went through. Apparently, did you catch this? They hinted this character in the Q&A.
I must have missed that hint. What was the reference?
CG Crumb went through and answered one of the questions with "What?"
Ah, gotcha. Okay, clever.
It was something that definitely everybody passed over and did not catch, and everybody in the offices of Capital Games chuckled about.
Well, everybody's just been clamoring for some Wat Tambor action.
That's right. It should have been on the tip of everybody's tongue.
Yeah,
of course that's what he means. I should have picked that out.
It kind of goes along with the other character everybody's just been asking about. I mean, every week I got to delete so many emails asking where Geo Brood Alpha is at.
Yeah, I ask that question every time too. We get on the Skype call before we record, and I'm like, man, where is my other Geo?
Yeah, I have to say I did kind of call this one. I did think we would get some sort of generic Geonosian. Brood Alpha? Okay, we'll go with that. I'm calling this dude Bruce.
Yeah, we needed a leader, so why not be the Brood Alpha, aka Bruce?
Yep. It's either gonna be that or Gabby, and Bruce won out. So
Bruce
anyway, he's gonna
masculine.
be a leader. He's going to be needed for the Wat Tambor mission. So probably at 5 stars or above. He's going to summon Geo Brutes and equalize health and protection. So it sounds like a pretty good character. We just don't know exactly how we're going to get him yet.
It does sound like we're going to have to gear up our Geos, though, if you want Wat Tambor.
Ever. Well, if you want Wat Tambor.
That's right. And someone in your guild will. So you better start gearing up your Geos. Otherwise, your guild will not be happy.
Yeah, I'm going to get him. Yeah, if Bruce is kind of like Captain Han, he went straight to the store before the map, correct? I remember.
Correct.
Yeah, so you had to basically buy him out with your currency. I don't know if they're going to do that now since everybody's got so much currency.
I think he's going to go somewhere on the board to farm right away. But
yeah,
I doubt
I
it's
could
going
see
to be
that.
a store. And if it is going to be a store, it's going to be in GOTB store, and you're going to have to buy him and make that decision whether you try to go through and get that Gear 12 finisher to go to Gear 13, or are you going to go after the Geo Brood?
I'm going to go after Geo Brood. I like having characters.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things that is going to kind of create a division within the guild. I could see that happening.
And he's going to be in platoons. You just know he is.
Oh, yeah, everything but that one day that he's needed, I'm sure. What else do we have? Yeah, it was interesting in the interview because they did basically say that as far as those summon the Geo Brute, and there will be 6 characters on the board, so I don't know what that Geo Brute abilities are going to be, but it is going to be a 6 character within your squad itself, and they're using the game mechanics from actually being able to select a ally character. It's already built into the game to be able to have 6 people or 6 characters in a team. And they're finally utilizing that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. We didn't mention that with the Q&A, but they did say they weren't going to do 6v6 territory wars anytime soon.
Yet.
But yeah, we're getting a really interesting mix of options for separatist teams now. There's a lot of good leaders out there. Newt, Dooku, Grievous, Bruce.
Now, with this, I want to go through and mention this because it came out with both Shock T, the event, the kit, Wat Tambor, Geo. Not so much Geo Brood, but especially with Wat Tambor and Shock T. Carrie went through and they had this discussion during the interview on, and she used Anakin as an example. When they released Anakin, everybody was up in arms saying, how does an Anakin have a Zeta? How does an Anakin have a Zeta? And she's like, you can't really release the character with the rework and then call out a specific character that's not in the game yet. So she described this, what they call it within the studio, as nesting dolls. And they're building a lot of characters like that right now, where you aren't going to see the full kit slash ability of the character until something down the road hits into the game, and then you'll see the full potential of that character.
Yeah, we got mentioned that last week when we talked about the lack of plug and play characters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these pre-built teams. You know, instead of only having to buy one character or gear one character, now you have to do at least 2 or 3.
Yes, and it seems like it's gonna get. They're focusing down and doubling down on that. So, like Shock T, she did hint at there is definitely some nesting doll synergies that are yet to be explored with that character.
Absolutely, yeah. We're I will eat 14 hats if we don't get Bad Batch clones.
Well, I don't even know if it's that. It's either going to be a retune or rework of clones, or a new clone somewhere along the line. I don't know if, like I said, new clone, rework, I don't know what's going to happen to it, but it's definitely going to make that team better.
Yeah, well, speaking of Shock T, what did you think of the event?
I enjoyed it. You know, it was going through. It wasn't anything. It was a marquee event.
Yeah, it was definitely not a marquee plus. It was about as bare bones marquee event as you could get. I guess backgrounds looked okay. There's not a whole lot you can do with rocks and sand, but
yeah, I don't have my clones really geared up, so it wasn't anything spectacular for me this time around.
Were you able to beat the bonus tier?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some people having troubles with that. I think they're just trying to plug in Revan and some kind of non-synergy people, and it wasn't quite working out. But yeah, clones, I think they're gonna be a hard counter to Grievous pretty easily. One or two of those fullest and B1's done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could beat it. I think I put a Darth Revan team. It took a while, but I got there.
Yeah.
Wasn't any spectacular with the event. Artwork amazing, but nothing.
Yeah, she looks good. Somebody posted a picture of like all the Twi'leks and whatever her species is. So they had all the Ahsokas, Ayla, Shock T, and Mission, and man, those older characters really need a graphic touch up. You can definitely see the difference.
Yeah, they're coming into a part of the game where they should be getting reworked. A lot of those characters.
Yeah, even just like a lighting pass would bring a lot of depth to those textures on it.
Yeah. So,
anyway, no.
Yeah. Well, let's get off that and get into more. I really like that nesting doll synergy. I think Wat Tambor is going to be another one that's going to have some nesting synergies. I don't know whether that's going to apply to General Grievous and the droids or something else. Definitely seems like another possibility. I just don't know how to go through and split up these separatist teams right now, other than the Geos. I know There's 5 of them. That's easy. Know what to do with them. Grievous, Dooku, Newt Gunray now. How to split them up. Wat Tambor. Not really sure what's the best way to split these teams up.
Yeah, they're going to need maybe a few more characters if you want to go straight separatist.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Watt's going to play with dark side droids as well. So you've got Imperial Probe droid out there. You've got IG-88, 86. There's a few more options with him.
Yeah, like, it's just going to be interesting. That the synergies, there could be another character down the road that we don't even know about. Just a dark side droid coming out that could have some really good synergy with Wat Tambor.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there will be. Some good news we got is we're getting a new capital ship.
Yes, and this was the second ship that we went through and that was hinted at when they were going through.
So we talked about it last week. They mentioned in their Q&A that it was doubly good odds for getting a ship. They were going to show benevolence, but need to negotiate some more. So obviously this is the negotiation hint paying off. General Kenobi's negotiator.
Yeah, they did not say when or how it's coming out, but Carrie did say, as far as the ship goes, so Annie's ETA-2 will synergize very well with the negotiator.
Shocking.
Counterpoint to Mace's ship. So they did say, yes, we already have a Galactic Republic capital ship, but General Kenobi may be a negotiator, but was always had Ahsoka and Anakin on there. They were a little bit more aggressive with their tactics, especially compared to Mace. So this capital ship is going to basically highlight offensive abilities of the ships. And it's going to be a lot more of an offensive ship where Mace is a defensive capital ship.
Yeah, as long as it works against Millennium Falcon, I'll be happy.
Hey, there's no well about it. Apparently that is what the strategy and everything idea came behind the negotiator.
Yeah, it was time for this meta to get a little bit of a shakeup.
Now, they did talk about, everybody, hold on. Going through the other part of that sentence about the malevolence, definitely still think that's happening. Don't go through and think, oh, we just got one capital ship, they aren't going to do anything more. I think there's going to be more.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still not convinced the malevolence is going to be listed as General Grievous. I think there's a very good possibility it ends up being Dooku, and I would not count out Newt Gunray either yet, because they did talk about ships in general in the interview, mentioning they realized the limiting factor within ships are how many ships there were, and especially capital ships. And they actually called themselves out, saying ships have been in the game basically 2.5 years now, believe it or not. And in that time, they had a brand spanking total of 1 new capital ship. And you can't really do anything with ships if you aren't releasing new ships to be able to create newer synergies and newer teams. And without that, really came and caused the stagnation within ships and really stuck them in a hole within the meta ship arena. They can't really do a lot for raids because there aren't enough capital ships to do that. Same way with Grand Arena Championships, Territory Wars. They can't really up the number of ships needed there because they don't have enough flexibility with capital ships. So definitely seems like they're going to be leaning into these capital ships. I'm expecting at least 2. I would not be surprised if we see 3.
Yeah, I think we'll get 2 for now. I think they're looking at the economy and seeing all of this stockpiled up, prestige mats and all that. Mm-hmm. So I think we're gonna get 1 that's going to be kind of the decoy. It's going to get people to clear out their bank accounts and just spend all their mats on this one just because it's a new shiny. And then we're going to get the real game changer for whichever one they release second. That's kind of my little theory.
With one being light side and one being dark side, along with them wanting to kind of like balance the meta. I have a feeling both of them are going to be good. Go after one or the other. I would see what pilots are actually geared up to build the team and go after that one. Because I would imagine a maxed out fleet team with either one of these new capital ships is going to be competitive. It's going to come down to the pilots that you have geared up.
Yeah, and super long term, they mentioned having a ship raid phase at the very least. So you'll need all the capital ships you can get and teams for that to get your damage in.
Correct. And I'm excited for it. I'm Dooku being the pilot of the Malevolence would kind of throw me for a loop. If it's General Grievous, I have him maxed out. General Kenobi's pretty much maxed out. I do have Anakin at Gear 12. I don't have Anakin's ETA 2, so I'm kind of in a weird spot with both of those. I'm kind of going to feel it out and see what happens. I do have enough prestige mats to do one full capital ship, and then I'm at 2,400, so another 500. So not even a quarter of the way for a second one. But that could all change too. That 1950 mark that everybody's aiming for with prestige mats could be completely thrown out of the loop if they add, depending on how many abilities it has, whether they add a new tier level to the capital ship, it could be all out of whack very quickly.
That's how we like it. Yeah. All out of whack.
That's right. Let's get in. I think we got one other thing here.
Yeah, they speaking of things that are out of whack, a little bit of news came up on these EA patents that are floating around out there that I think Mobile Gamer was the one that kind of started this, or I don't know.
It got brought to his attention. He made a video, and it kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, so basically the EA has patents for matchmaking to adjust matchmaking based on how close you are to a goal. And this has been going on in games forever. Like take Mario Kart, for example. If you are closer to winning, it's going to adjust the game to where the computer will catch up. It's called rubber banding. Mm-hmm. Just to make it a little more exciting. So
think Mario Kart.
That's nothing crazy. Yeah.
Mario Kart's the best example of rubber banding.
Absolutely, yeah. So these are out there, and I don't know if this patent specifically said it, or people just made the comparison to drop rates in games, to where, and I think the key to this is that the patent said it would be imperceptible to the players. They wouldn't know what was going on. So kind of the tinfoil conspiracy theorists out there were like, aha, we've caught them. This is why when I only need one shard, I never get that drop and I got to refresh. It's part of this patent, which we've kind of talked about that. There's a whole lot of confirmation bias going on to that.
And I will do confirmation bias that it's not really a thing because we had double drops and I went through and tried to get shards for, I think it was the B-28 Extinction Bomber. 3 days in a row, 0 shards.
That's right. I mean it's anecdotal. It sucks when it happens to you, but without just all the data, you can't really go off anything. But anyway, CG came out and said that this game does not do that. They had considered kind of a pro player version of this, where if you went so long without a positive drop, it would, increase your chances of getting one. But they decided to just leave it alone. So really, without and people have done
And she
data
also
collection.
did go through and mention that she was asked by higher ups on creating basically like a study or researching whether they could put this patent in some way or form into the game also, in which she said they weren't able to find everything and she told them no.
Right. So the team does not want to do it. It's not in the game. Other games do have similar systems in place. I think another one was a multiplayer one to where they would matchmake you with somebody better than you, so you would lose, and then if you purchased an upgrade, they would matchmake you with somebody that was worse than you, so you would win and would reinforce that behavior.
Basically, positive reinforcement for spending.
Right.
Hey, look, you spent, and now you're doing better.
Right.
I wonder why.
Which, I can't say that's not out the realm of possibility. Again, do I think this game is doing that? No, because, again, with our with matchmaking, especially in Arena, you pretty much know your shard. You can refresh. And
you can't do that in this game, at least for Arena.
Right, because you're kind of stuck with who you're stuck with, and
yep,
you can keep refreshing and pick your battles. So I mean, really, as of right now, like we don't have data, and I take CG Carey out of words. He says it's not in the game. I'll go with that. I mean that's one of the things I know I've said on the show before. That would be a deal breaker for me with this game is if they did kind of tweak the systems to guide you toward spending when it comes to drops and things like that. I guess jury is still out. We don't have access to the data, so we can't do our own study on it. All we have is anecdotes and confirmation bias, really.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's out there. Anything else? I kind of want to end on a positive note. What else did we get?
We not really news wise, but we do have some listener questions. Maybe we could do that.
That'd be fun. We asked for questions in our Discord, and we got some good ones this week.
All right, what did we get?
All right, starting off, Barrel. So thinking about progression for new players, I feel they've messed up the Cantina farm order. Instead of farming the vets, it seems more pressing to go for JKR and Darth Revan. I'm seeing very few newer players prioritizing JTR. Wouldn't it be an easy fix to throw the vets in shops, especially given their usefulness? Would be a good way to help newer players add a top-tier team and access heroic Sith. The Sith raid. I agree.
I agree, and I think the move of Gar Saxon out of a 16 energy node down into an 8 energy node, I think set a precedent for this. I have a feeling the vets will be moving out of that Cantina spot.
Now that was in a Q&A as well. We didn't touch on last week. They asked if the vets would ever get a resistance tag, and their answer was time will tell. It normally does.
AKA, I think it sounds like yes, they will be, and we're waiting for episode 9 when we actually get into that era.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
And if that's the case, those vets that everybody's going through and has for JTR and avoiding farming could shift back around and not need to be moved off that 16 energy node because of an update with one of those like nesting doll synergies. All of a sudden they become very important within the game again.
Yeah, that would be cool. Bill Muertes asks, do you think a new cap ship will do anything against the MILF? Well, yes.
Yes.
we did it. We talked about that. Let's see. Okay. Oh, God. Well, Olet Keldroma asks, who will be the next hero and legend?
Ooh,
that's a tough one.
Yeah. Do you got anything?
Man, they are... I would say Jar Jar.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Do you think they're going to be releasing a Clone Wars era legendary character, or are we going to be shifting in towards episode 9?
It depends on the TV show. I could see him pulling something from that. Uh, as of what's left in the movie trilogy, there's really not that many characters left.
Snoke.
No, I was thinking Clone Wars era. Okay, yeah,
yeah.
from
I mean, if we go to the movie, I mean, we can go to Snoke. If we go Clone Wars era, I mean, you could pull. How about Robo?
I could see that. I wasn't even thinking the new trilogy. I was still kind of stuck in Clone Wars. New trilogy, create Luke.
Okay.
I mean, I still think Prime Jedi Luke is going to be the pinnacle character for the game. I think they can still get away with that version of Luke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with Robo Legs Maul as the next legendary character.
All right, I can do that. All right, he asked another question. Popular belief is the first raid with ships will be Battle of Endor. If that's not it, what ship battle would the raid be? Well, I mean, obviously Death Star is first Death Star. That's a big one, but that would be pretty much ship only. The bombing run from The Force Awakens. The Last Jedi could be in there. Starkiller Base assault could be one. Hoth.
Naboo.
Yeah, Naboo could be. Yeah, Naboo. That's actually a really good one.
No, I think Battle of Naboo would be a great ship battle, and would be able to go through and only fit one phase and have ground battles to go along with it.
Yeah, and you could unlock Jar Jar. You could unlock the Naboo Starfighter.
Boss.
A lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah.
All right, Cotman asks, how do you see Gear 12 finishing mods impacting the game? Will game become more defensive or offensive?
Ooh. I think that timer is going to play a lot bigger role, because a lot of those Gear 12 finishers are all health and protection and even defense, not so much offense. So I think it's going to go through and ramp everything up and going to make characters a lot harder to kill. I don't see those offensive stats getting a huge bump. So
yeah,
I guess it would be towards defensive, right? Defensive / survivability.
I guess so. I kind of read this question a different way. They're still going to be pretty rare coming out with. So people are obviously going to gear up their arena squads first. So really, the first few months, it's just going to be the arena meta teams trying to outgear each other so they can win those mirror matches. And then it's going to be a couple of weeks or a couple of months before it spreads out to some of the different teams. So I don't see it impacting the overall game that much right away. But yeah, out of those mirror matches, probably be a little more defensive.
Yeah, even when you start getting Gear 13, say you don't go through in Gear 13 your arena meta team, in Grand Arena, say you go through and you decide to Gear 13 just a pain in the butt defensive team. Say it's Kira, or say Padme too. Padme would be another good one. And you go through and just place that team in a back wall behind Darth Revan as like the front wall. So they use Darth Revan or some meta team, and then again the back wall that has a Gear 13 team that's like Padme, GK, Zaris, Ahsoka. Gear 13 with all that health, and you just don't have a super meta team like Darth Revan to be able to blast through that team. Oh, that could be so painful.
Good. Oh, man.
I would see that and like realize I don't have Darth Revan, or like I don't even know who else to counter that team with to be able to have enough damage when they're at Gear 13 with 6-dot mods. I'd be like, I don't even know what to do here. I'm gonna go into the corner and cry.
All right. While you're crying, let's think about this other question here. All right. Besides putting mods on your arena team, what way do you work on prioritizing mods for other squads? Is it just hand-me-downs, or do you pick a squad and go all cart to returns? Oh, all cart to the return stall, aka balls to the wall till they're done. Oh, me, it's kind of hand-me-down. I've got at some point to sit down and remod my whole roster. But it's such a painful process, and I don't feel like paying anybody to do it. So I'm just going to have to do one or two at a time.
So mine's a kind of a combination, because I'll go through and start farming specifically for my arena team. But if I get a good mod just from a regular drop, I'll upgrade it, slice it, and if it doesn't fit into my arena squad, I'll figure out where I want to go through and put it. Usually Darth Revan or Jedi Knight Revan's going to take priority, obviously. A top CLS is the other one. So usually those three teams take priority. And then it comes down to the teams I enjoy the most, that I want to try to go through and make a pain, like concentrating on Nest. I went through and sliced up a ton of tenacity mods and have my Nest just loaded up with tenacity because I like having Nest and not being able to stun her, and she's quick and hitting hard all in one mod set is very appealing to me. Bounty Hunters is another one that I'll go through and tend to throw mods on. So usually after the first, 3 teams, then it turns into my personal preference, whether it's an offensive or defensive team that I enjoy playing.
Yeah, if I am building a full team, I'll tend to try to get the best mods available at the time. But then after it's built, they do kind of get stuck in time, and I'll never go back and remod, even though I should.
There's certain characters I will. I've gone back through and modded. Like I said, Nest and Wampa's another one. Having those solo characters modded very well that can solo teams is what I meant by solo characters. When
gotcha.
Solo a 5v1 team with one character, I go through and we'll spend some time specifically getting mods for them.
Yeah, I probably should do that one day. I did go back and mod my Kylo Ren mask to make him less of a Ewok bait.
You have to go through over 60k health.
Yeah.
And
it's like 50, 55 or 60. It's up there.
Yeah, you have to get it at 60. I can still beat him at 55.
Well, I got some more work to do then.
Yeah, I think I beat one at 57. It took me a while, but I was able to do it. And the reason you have to go back through and do that because you don't even have Nest at Gear 12 yet.
I know. One of these days I will.
One of these days I'll be able
when everybody else has her
those.
at Gear 13, I'll finally get her up to Gear 12.
Now that clones are good and I need a character to solo them, I'll think about Gear 12ing Nest.
Right. All right, let's see. This is Cotman again. What is your advice to combat against burnout?
I kind of go through and just take a step back from the game every once in a while. And what I mean by that is basically take a step back by stop taking everything, trying to min-max everything. Just enjoy the game, go through Galactic War, don't worry about achievements or anything. Just hit sim, go in, sim everything, get your 600, be a good guildie, but don't go through and try to go through and remod everything. Analyze specifically every gear. Just farm up stun cuffs, stun guns, just basic gear. And then when you have time and you're feeling better about the game, then getting in and you're like, all right, now let me see who I can gear up now that I have some gear stored up. Now that I'm a little bit further along in the game. It's basically what I do every once in a while.
A lot of it depends on your personality too. Like if you're real competitive, and you just can't stand not having the latest character or being beaten arena, I'll take your advice too. Take a step back and realize what you're fighting over. If you fall off the top 10 or top 20, top 50, whatever for a week, it's what, $10, $20 worth of crystals at the most. I mean, is that worth your mental health Probably not. Me personally, routine doesn't bother me. I could eat the same thing for breakfast and lunch every day forever, and I don't care. So the routine of this game is kind of one of those comforting things that doesn't get to me. Let's see. If you are detail oriented, kind of go the opposite of what Sparrow said, and do try to min-max a certain character or team. Get your enjoyment out of building that team you like to play. It may not be the best meta team, but if you're having fun with it, go for it. Yeah, because mirror matches get boring.
Yeah.
I think these feats may do a lot to help combat burnout, because you will be having to try different things, and it's not the end of the world if you fail.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it helps out with burnout for me, only because with the characters and mods that I have, I can, by only playing 1 or 2 battles a day in arena, on both arenas, I can get top 20. And I mean, that covers 3 refreshes easily to be able to get my 600 of normal energy. So it's a little bit different for me, because I don't really have to go through, I can take that step back and just kind of auto 2 arena matches, 3 arena matches, and get all my challenges completed and get top 20 in both arenas. So I am kind of making this sound like, oh yeah, you could just take a step back and not fall behind in the game. And I do realize that I'm in a unique position within the game itself where I can do that by hitting auto, having Darth Revan and Malik and mods, and being in a good spot within my arenas to be able to accomplish that.
Yeah, and count your wins. There's a lot of things that can be negative in this game. We've got some guild mates that all they do is complain. No matter what, I'm like, all right, the negotiator's coming to the game. That's pretty cool. And the first 3 comments are, oh, how much is that going to cost? Or this sucks, or whatever.
I haven't even started farming Annie's ETA yet. This is going to be horrible. This is going to be horrible until I get that.
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just miserable. Like, if you're just around that all the time, it's going to make everything suck. So, focus on even if you win a territory war, on some of your good defenses you had. If you improved your efficiency, whatever it is, just focus on the good stuff.
Yeah, I always take
that's some good life advice too. Not that much free.
Life advice from Stan. Go yell at a tree.
Yeah. Yell at a tree. They don't yell back.
Yeah. If you're feeling really good about yourself and you get away from a tree, go yell at a shopping cart that's not in its home.
All right, so speaking of negative, Mil Mertes asks, will Stan ever complete the last Dark Side territory special mission now that you have to choose Gia or Hoth? Probably not.
The answer is no. No, it's probably not.
We're never going back.
Yeah, I have a feeling that calendar where it says Dark Side Hoth right there at the end of the month is also going to be a Dark Side Geo, and we have experienced our last Hoth Dark Side territory battle.
Yeah. And you know what? That's fine. They can keep that 20 Galactic event tokens. It's fine.
Yeah. It just gives me a reason not to gear up Imperial Pro Droid.
Yeah,
take
exactly.
Him off
there was a hot minute I was going to put a Zeta on him. I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah. I blame Grande Patron being on here saying, I'm able to get by this mission. I just threw a Zeta on IPD.
Yeah, we need to check in with him, see how he's doing. Grande, if you're out there, shoot us a message, man. We got to get you back.
Yeah.
And last question comes from Obi Wankin Obi. I see what you did there. Apart from Jedi Luke, what is the most obvious movie character missing from the game? You thought it was Droideka a couple of months ago. That thing is all over the prequels. And will we ever get Jabba? Now, we kind of touched on this. I think probably most obvious is Jar Jar. Mm-hmm. Just considering he was the marketing for him and Darth Maul. He was the marketing for Episode 1.
Yeah, Ki-Adi-Mundi is another one. Now, Jabba's an interesting one, too. I do not think we'll get Jabba.
I think that's more of a... that may be more of a engine issue in the game than anything else, because he's such a large character. They would have to redo the animation and.
Now, well, when I say I don't think he's going to be in the game, I don't think he's going to be a playable character within the game. He might be something that we kind of like the table that we had to go through in that Night Sister event. I think he's going to be in some PvE content or some aspect of the game that way. Probably PvE at some point. But I don't see him being a playable character.
I would, yeah, I can see that too. Well, we already got the one hut in there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd like to see him over some sort of other mode, but this is lore-wise not. He wouldn't be in there, so scratch that. We'll cut that out in post. No, we won't.
No, we will not.
Yeah, that was the questions. Good bunch of questions this group. So yeah, if you've got a question for next show, hop on our Discord, go in the show Q&A session channel, and throw it in there.
Yeah, we'll go through and start wrapping this up pretty quickly here. We got the Marquee Watch, which Shakti entered on 6-6, which kind of was pretty much where we expected Shakti to drop. Did you calculate the shipment date and free-to-play date? How close was I?
If they're still going the full 6 weeks, we're looking at July 18th for the shipment date and around August 29th for free-to-play. But I could see that being pushed up some to try to sell some more packs and
No,
and
that
farming for the-
fits. No, that fits. We talked about this. Go through next quarter, wanting to put in light side, Geonos and territory battle map, needing Shakti and clones, going through, we'll put it the end of September, that happening, that would be a good time frame on when Shakti would go free to play to get some farming time before the map started, or right around that time frame.
Well, it fits. It's kind of moving into bump and grind, and I mentioned earlier, I'm hoarding gear. Kind of got my eyes on building that Galactic Republic team, but until I see the full Geonosian territory battle requirements for Darkseid, I'm just biding my time.
Yeah, just working on my Droideka. I do have Droideka gear 11, so just putting on those last couple pieces until I have to stop and wait to get them 7 stars to get to gear 12. And just hard notes, really trying to wrap up these last few characters. Droideka, Range Trooper, Cantina with Aura. Aura I'm pretty close with. Range Trooper I'm getting pretty close with. Uror I'm getting fairly close with. Trying to wrap these characters up as quick as possible. That way I can shift over towards ships. B1's also in that list for me. And finally did commit with the guild store currency to go after Malik. Not sure how happy I'm about
he's all right.
It's one of those things. I want Malik at 7 stars. I know I need Malik at 7 stars, but giving up that gear is very painful to me, especially when I need so many stun guns.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been touching it in a while. I think I may be able to now if the Grand or the new territory battles and Grand Arena Championship are going to have their own currency. I think all the good stuff's going to go there. We may get a slight gear refresh on the Guild event store, but I kind of think it's set where it's going to be at.
I think you're safe as far as the characters that are going to be in there.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be any more characters in there, and I think you're pretty safe going after gear in the store now.
Yeah, my only concern would be if they added the new Crytek pieces.
And they said it would go into the new store, not the current store. The only thing you might have to be concerned about if they somehow put Geo Brood Alpha in there, aka Bruce.
I don't think they would, since he's tied into the new store. I don't know. Maybe they would.
Yeah, that's the only possible character I could see even remotely going in there and needing for it. Other than that, I would say go after the gear. Along with all the other stores, they didn't sound like they had any intentions of putting any more characters in those stores, and they're strictly for getting shard shop currency.
Which is nice. I mean, I don't mind that.
Arena. I'm saving a little bit of the prestige or arena tokens in case I need some more prestige.
Gotcha. Yeah, not a bad idea. I'm sitting around 50,000 of those.
Jeez.
Yeah, not too worried about that. Anything else? Did we miss anything? That was a lot.
I'm sure we missed something, but I have no idea what it is. We had so much information bombarded on us. So if we did,
yeah, I mean,
we'll hit it next week. It'll come back around.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is probably like a Shock T strategies. She hadn't even made a blip on the radar, looks like, so.
No.
I don't know. Until we get
not a meta team, that's for sure.
No. All right, well, let's get on out of here then.
All right.
Y'all know the deal. Leave us a review on iTunes or your podcast server of choice. Helps us show up in searches. Check us out on thealliancegaming.com with other fabulous content creators. Get on our Discord. Link is in the show notes. You can email us at cantinavisla@gmail.com. And if so inclined, check us out at patreon.com/cantinavisla. Your support helps grow the show, and you get access to our special Patreon-only rooms and contests. And a reminder, this month will be the Mandalorian poster from Celebration. Tell us who your favorite Mandalorian is.
All right, guys. Until next week. Later.
As you are exiting the cantina, we would like to say thanks for stopping by, and we hope to see you out on the hollow table soon.